Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back for another BoshNRoll video. Today I'm playing Modern at the request of Patreon subscriber Milan. And once again, Milan has come through with a crazy brew of his own design. This is Jund Scam built around Riveteer's Ascendancy. Here we have an unplayable bulk rare from Streets of New Capenna. I'll read the words on it to you. Black, red, green. Enchantment. When you sacrifice a creature, you may return target creature card with lesser mana value from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Do this only once each turn. This costs 3 different colors of mana, does not impact the board immediately, and requires a specific type of action, which is sacrificing a creature. And your reward is once per turn, you could get a smaller creature back. Milan sent me several different versions of decks built around this one, and I thought this one was the most exciting, and then I made some of my own adjustments to it as well. The plan here is it's based around the elementals, the elemental incarnations, and evoke in general as a mechanic. Ragavan frequently dies because opponents want to kill it. Dauthi Voidwalker, same thing. Kroxa just puts itself directly into the graveyard. These are your 1s and 2s at the low end of the curve. Then anything you evoke, Grief, Shriekmaw, Fury, will trigger, because evoke is, if you cast a spell for its evoke cost, sacrifice it when it comes into play. Evoke creates a sacrifice, and these things cost more than their actual mana value, is a lot more than their evoke cost, which is kind of the whole point. Speaking of mechanics and the point of mechanics, I did a deep dive on cycling creatures. If there's anything I could cycle for value early on, then start recurring. And it turns out cycling, the whole point of cycling is if you can't cast your 5-drop, you can turn it into a card. There's not a lot of cheap creatures with cycling, or else you would just cast that creature a lot of the time. The most exciting one I found was Viashino Sand Sprinter, which is from the original Modern Horizons. Here it is. 1 red red, 4/1 trample haste. At the beginning of the end step, return it to its owner's hand, and it has cycling for a red. You can cycle it for a red, then you have a 3-drop in the graveyard, which is cheaper than Grief and Fury. And when you evoke them, the Sprinter comes back into play tapped, and then returns to your hand from its own ability, and then you can cycle it again. Seemed like kind of a cool engine, but it required a lot to go right, and I think I found some more fun things we can do. The only change I made from the list that Milan sent me is that he had 4 Death Shadows in the deck, and I don't think we're very good at being a Death Shadow deck. We have Shocklands and Thoughtseize, but so does every Jund deck in Modern, and that doesn't make them all a Death Shadow deck. We don't have Street Wraiths, we don't have anything like that. I replaced the 4 Death Shadows with 2 Carrion Feeders. This is an unbound sacrifice outlet. There are a number of creatures in the deck that don't sacrifice themselves. Or, if we get into the hard cast phase of the game, I'd like a way to sacrifice my Grief. After I pay 4 mana to get it into play, I'd like to be able to trigger Riveteer's Assembly still. Ascendancy. I'm going to say Assembly a lot. I don't know why. My brain is in that mode. Seasoned Pyromancer does not sacrifice itself. This does do a good job putting cheap creatures in the graveyard to ascend, yes. I almost said to Ascendancy, but then realized that there's already a verb version of Ascendancy. To ascend. This puts creatures in the graveyard to ascend them. Carrion Feeder can sacrifice that, can sacrifice creatures that are in play. And these are my fun ofs, my crazy fun ofs. Cadaver Imp. It's a 3-drop, which is important. I needed to find creatures that are cheaper than Grief and worth putting into play off of a Grief trigger or off of an Ascendancy trigger. Cadaver Imp When it enters the battlefield, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. How about the grief that died to get us there? Exciting stuff. Or I can pick up Kroxa to refire it. And then Scarecrow went deep on this one. This is a card I love in EDHN. I've never seen it in a modern deck, but here we go. 3 mana 1/2. 1, sacrifice a Scarecrow, draw a card. It is itself a Scarecrow, so for 1, you can sacrifice it and trigger Ascendancy again. Also, Ascendancy says do this only once each turn, doesn't say whose turn, and Scarecrow gives you the ability, along with Carrion Feeder. These are the 2 things in the deck that can sacrifice a creature on your opponent's turn to get 2 triggers out of an Ascendancy in a turn cycle. If you evoke Grief, get back Scarecrow, then pass the turn, you can pay 1 on your opponent's turn, sack Scarecrow, and get back Kroxa or Dothy Voidwalker or whatever. Fun stuff. I hope one of these does something at some point during the league, because I went really deep on this. I looked at a lot of cards that cost 3 or less on Scryfall to come to these 2 slots. Let's hope they're good. The sideboard is a collection of creatures that either evoke, like Shriekmaw and Foundation Breaker, or fun creatures to recur. Fulminator Mage being the chief among them. Grist, also fun to recur, counts as a creature in your graveyard. I thought of playing Blood Moon like a normal scam deck, and that's probably better than Fulminator Mage, but I'm going to lean into the theme here and keep these Fulminator Mages. This is an old staple. This card was like $40 at some point, believe it or not. Now it's completely unplayable, but we're playing it here today. And the silver lining to all of this is Riveteer's Ascendancy, being a Jund gold card, pitches to any of the Grief or Furies in the deck to set up the scam stuff. That's always the out. We can pitch it to evoke an elemental. This is a little weird, but it's also a lot of fun. Let's hope that we can get Ascendancy going a couple times here. I would like to see this card active in a real game of Modern. Let's try it. 3-for-1 Trading is having a Black Friday sale that starts today, Wednesday, November 23rd. Their entire inventory is 5% off, and they offer free worldwide shipping on all orders over €341. Today they have additional sales on selected old school staples. This is on top of the 5% Black Friday sale, and supplies are limited. Visit shop.3for1trading.com to learn more. I'm on the play in round 1 with a hand that gives a little and takes a little. I have turn 1 Ragavan and turn 2 Kroxa or Dothy Voidwalker obviously in, but it's funny that I have 2 Riveteer's Ascendancies in my hand. This hand is like that horse drawing meme where it's like a beautifully drawn horse, and then it slowly turns into a stick figure with a smiley face. Blood Crypt is just like always the correct land. This is mostly a Rakdos deck. It's just splashing for Riveteer's Ascendancy and some stuff out of the sideboard. Opponent's on a mull to 5. Let's see what they're about over there. Firebluff Canal is in play. Let's see if they have the Lightning Bolt or the Unholy Heat. You have the Lightning Bolt. Okay. Sure. Opponent on mull to 4. I could just zap them with Kroxa here. Or I could Voidwalk, start shutting down the Murktide part of the deck, the Delirium part of the deck. I'm going to fetch Overgrown Tomb, and I am going to play Voidwalker. Yeah, this card makes Kroxa better as well, and Kroxa will still get a card next turn. Probably the same card even. Oh, Spirebluff Bridge. The opponent is up to something. Oh god. This is what we always wanted, the 3rd Ascendancy. Without a land to go with it. I'm going to lead on Kroxa. If they discard something busted, I could just cast it right now. I discarded Spirebluff Canal, which does cast Riveteer's Ascendancy, but I am not ready to sack my Voidwalker and do that. Voidwalker also sacrifices itself. I did not mention that in the deck tech, but it's a true statement. Expressive Iteration. Boring. So I might like to cast it. Found a Polluted Delta. All these things going straight into the void. Come on, land. Alright. Another Kroxa it is. Discarded Mishra's Bauble. I would kind of like to cast this Expressive Iteration, but I'm also just beating down, and I have a 8 Bear in play. They run out of cards in hand and life quickly. Yeah, I'm just going to keep bashing here. Kroxa will arrive someday. I hope, maybe. If I draw the land for Ascendancy, I can immediately cast EI and recur Ragavan, but EI might not even be good if I've already used my land drop. Another one of those. I've been sitting on this Mishra's Bauble for a long time. Kind of suspicious. Ooh. You don't say. I can just get basic Swamp here. And I'm casting Ascendancy. This is what we're here to do. It's probably better to just cast Kroxa and chill. But that's not what I'm going to do. I'm here to ascend. I'm not just going to fire off this Dothy Voidwalker, cast a Expressive Iteration that would certainly be an Anticipate, and then get back Ragavan. Like, Dothy can also just punch through Urza Saga tokens. Oh, okay. This is what's going on. This is Breach combo with the new third path Iconoclast. Brothers War just came out at the time of this recording. A couple days old on Magic Online. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to remove my Graveyard Hate from play here. My plan is to just attack and then cast Kroxa from the graveyard. I may not get to ascend after all. I have to get Blood Crypt here because I need red. While escaping, I'm going to be sure to leave Ragavan in the graveyard. For when I sacrifice something, I want to make sure that I have something to bring back. Metallic Rebuke, okay. Guess they've been holding that up for a long time, huh? That's why they've been sitting on that Mishra's Bauble for so long. Okay, whatever you're for. There's probably an Aether Spellbomb or something that can remove Dothy, or they get Shadow Spear and try to race it. Okay. Shadow Spear it is. Okay, we suddenly have a game, which I'm disappointed about. I did not want to play a game. I just wanted to beat my opponent. Oh god. That's certainly something. I don't think Breach combo normally plays that card. And no longer winning the race because of Iconoclast having lifelink. Give us 6. I'm actually just like dead. Uh-oh. This took a turn. Okay. Grief can bring back Kroxa, or I need to Grief first. Make sure their hand is empty. Yeah, I can win right now if their hand cooperates. Do you see the combo opponent? Do you see what I'm doing? Do you see the things I've done? Bummer, they had another Rebuke, which if I pay, then I can't cast the other Kroxa, and I am just dead. I could Rebuke their Rebuke, but then Riveteer's Ascendancy triggers. Was I supposed to play the second one first? Does that matter? Yeah, I can probably get them to 1 here. And bummer, that's annoying. I could pay for this, grief them, rebuy Kroxa, deal damage to them, and then try to EI a Lightning Bolt. Yeah, all of this comes up 1 short. Alright, I'll pay. Take Iconoclast. And then this Ascendancy triggers Kroxa. Having a tapped Ragavan doesn't help me. None of this really helps me. I will zap you all the same. Is there any card in their deck where that I would want Kroxa already in play for? If I cast EI right now? Or I can't do it right now, right? Cast it this turn. Yeah, okay. I can't do that. Alright. Doesn't matter anyway. Alright, you're at 1, and yeah, that Metallic Rebuke without my land got me good. I guess I'll cast Expressive Iteration and see what happens. Fury. That's a pretty good card. But Ragavan in my hand. Thoughtseize on the bottom. Exile Fury. Does this save me? 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe. I'm gonna exile. I think I want to exile the second Ascendancy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, I'll kill all those. Yeah. I didn't know. Oh, I should have cast Ragavan. What am I doing? Just have this mana available? Not interested. I don't know what's going on right now. Yeah, I didn't know they were gonna grief or soft counter grief when I made the move on Expressive Iteration. They go to 7 from this attack. Shriekmaw. Destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. Bummer, man. Why not just non-black? I can still evoke Shriekmaw and get back Kroxa. That gives me 2 Kroxas. If I dash Ragavan, it gives me 3 mana to work with. If I had cast Ragavan last turn, they just wouldn't have attacked with Servo. Or Soldier. I guess that is a Soldier, not a Servo. Right, I guess I'm dashing Ragavan. Need to flip a Lightning Bolt off them. Does that even do it? I think that does do it. Flipped Darksteel Citadel. Not helpful. And all of these creatures cost more, or cost the same or less than Fury does. Yeah, Shriekmaw specifying non-artifact. Really tragic. Get a look at your hand. Clear that last card out of it. I will return Ragavan to play. I'll keep the new one, and then I will die. Alright, that was close. Shadow Spear messed me up. Foundation Breaker. This is mostly the type of matchup that this is for. Shriekmaw can GTFO. So it does kill the Iconoclast, which is probably a big reason my opponent's playing this deck at all. Fury kills Iconoclast. Engineered Explosives wipes out any number of tokens from Iconoclast or Saga. That sounds pretty good. Our Cadaver Imp and Scarecrow too slow for this matchup. Truly tragic if true. Okay, I'll cut Scarecrow. Can I keep my Cadaver Imp? Ragavan seems kind of bad, but I am on the play for this game. I'll cut a Carrion Feeder, a creature that can't block here. Doesn't seem great. Oof. I can Grief. Alright, I am going to keep this hand on the strength of Grief plus Ragavan. I think I pitch Voidwalker because Kroxa is a great one to discard to Seasoned Pyromancer. And Voidwalker is kind of whatever. I Grief you, pitching the Voidwalker. As described. Mormod's Crypt? What the fuck? Come on. I thought we were friends. Alright. I'm going to take the Lightning Bolt. Is what I signed up for. I went in on this Ragavan hand. I'll just try to ignore the graveyard and be a Ragavan deck. There's some critical mass where they have to pop Tormod's Crypt. Foundation Breaker. Okay. I can just break the Tormod's Crypt. Missed on a land. I took an Urza Saga from their deck. I think I just have to pass. And Kroxa taking anything out of this hand is pretty good. There's 2 card advantage engines and the land to cast them. Yeah, I'll mess with any part of that. I'm casting this into Tormod's Crypt, but whatever. I fetched a Steam Vents tapped in response, probably just for F6 value. Discarded the Thoughtcast. Alright. No second land from me. Don't worry about it. Springleaf Drum with no creature to bang it. Right, the third Ragavan, just what we're looking for here. Ragavan finds Thoughtcast, which I cannot cast. So the cost is reduced. Still don't think I Foundation Break here. It doesn't make any sense. Just build up to Pyromancer, cashing in these rags. They exiled a tap land from EI. That's exciting. Oh, and they played a land from hand. Okay. Must have a spell that they're planning on casting on my turn. They wait for combat so I can't dash another copy, which I totally have in spades. Alright, or not. If it's not Lightning Bolt, it's Metallic Rebuke. Okay, I'm going to make them rebuke their own card here. Third Path, Iconoclast is on the stack. Here's the rebuke. Yep. Oh my god, what? Counter it. Okay, now I have Fury that can punch through to get anything going. Alright. Well, Aether Spellbomb. I got Thoughtcast off the ground. They can Spellbomb my Ragavan. Seems medium, but also, like, I'm not doing anything else. That was a great draw. Now if they Spellbomb Ragavan, I can turn around and cast Pyromancer. No Spellbomb. Being patient about it. Bot Monitor. Can I cast this? Nope. I'm one short of casting it. It was close. We tried. I can hard cast Foundation Breaker, but what There's just nothing worth breaking here. I'm going to cast this Seasoned Pyromancer and discard these other 2 Ragavans. If their last card in hand is another counterspell, that's fine. Pyro resolved. They're doing something in response to this. Just cracking a fetch. Okay. Discard 2 rags here, which got me Voidwalker and 2 elementals. We're now pretty wide against the spell bomb, which I was actually worried about, just picking off Ragavan and buying them a ton of time that turn. Cast Ornithopter. They can block Ragavan. And they've passed the turn. Ornithopter go. Powerful play of Ornithopter go. I'm going to attack with my creatures. Lightning Bolt Ragavan, that's fine. I have more things going on now than just that, which was not true a turn ago. Let's see if they spell bomb in response to my fetch. They definitely should, but they didn't. All right, we get to sneak Kroxa in here. They might have a counter spell. There's a bounce spell face up, but clearing this last card out of their hand one way or the other is pretty dope. Yeah, just caught him asleep at the wheel there. What is Tormod's Crypt for? If not, making sure I don't cast a Kroxa. We cleared a Thought Monitor. That's big money. Okay, pass the turn. They drew EI. There are a lot of ways to draw cards in this deck. Thought Cast, Thought Monitor, EI. This is really cool. This is not Breach combo. I don't believe that to be the case at this point. They're just some Is It tempo deck built around Third Path Iconoclast, which is a really sweet card. No denying that. Spellbomb bounced Kroxa after EI found Mishra's Bauble. They've been bobbled. Deverimp, it's here. I'm just going to attack first. Let them take their 3. Unless they're ready to lose Ornithopter. I'm going to fetch Bayou, or whatever the modern equivalent of Bayou is, Overgrown Tomb. And because I do have a green card in my hand, and I'm at the place where I can cast it. I'm going to play the Voidwalker first, and then I'm going to Kroxa. Or I'm going to get counterspelled. That's fine. Then they're back to Hellbent. Kroxa, get him. Hope it's a land. Another Metallic Rebuke. Okay. Kind of Rebuke flooded over there. If they string together enough multiple card advantage objects right now, I could be in trouble again. Okay. Figured it out. Brought in some graveyard hate. Do I want Fulminator Mage? They are a Saga deck. I don't think that's enough on its own. Carrion Feeder. Gris doesn't look good. Shriekmaw doesn't look good. Unlicensed Hearse doesn't look good. You know, I don't hate Fulminator Mage. Because we got room. It also pitches to both elementals. They brought in Graveyard Hate that we've now seen. I think we can shave a little on Ascendancy. I'm not going to cut them all. Because this is why we're here. We're here to do this. And I'm going to submit like this. Malachor Rebirth is an emergency land. I think I keep this hand and just hope I draw a real land. I can save my Rebirth for cooler things. Oh dear. Mishra's Research Desk. 1, sacrifice the desk. Exile the top 2 cards of your library. Choose one of them until your next turn. You may play that card. And this has Unearth. Okay. So just a mega slow divination. I think I need to take this turn to Thoughtseize. And I have a decision to make. There are red cards currently in my hand. There's also green cards currently in my hand. Probably more important to have access to the green card. And there's more red sources in the deck I could draw too. I'm going to get Overgrown Tomb instead of Blood Crypt here. And I'm leading on this because I want to Thoughtseize. If they have Iconoclast, I want it gone. I'll take Thoughtcast. Let's try to slow him down. We see Rebuke, Silver Bluff Bridge, and Thought Monitor. Thought Monitor costs 7. 1, 2, 3 costs 4. Okay. Not very good. Ooh. That would probably sniff out the Rebuke. Or they can Research Desk in the end step. I am going to play the Explosives now. Or I should, well, if they Rebuke this, then they don't get to research desk. All right, cool. Now I need a red source. But I can evoke Foundation Breaker and then rebirth it. They activated the desk. It's desk time. Exiled Polluted Delta and Springleaf Drum. They chose Polluted Delta as the card they want to play. A good choice. They're still holding up Rebuke. Red source. Too easy. They would certainly rebuke Ascendancy. Do I want to soften them up with Kroxa first? Or just try to get this thing in? I want to Kroxa first. And softening up this hand makes sense. And we know they're working toward Thought Monitor. At some point, they'll have to tap some mana to cast that thing. And I'm going to be there, ready to punish them. Right, we got a Lightning Bolt out of their hand. Glad to see that go. I would bobble myself here and then use the fetch land as a scry. I don't know all the contents of their deck, but sitting on this Mishra's Bauble when you're floundering seems kind of sus. No longer floundering. Urza Saga achieved. Nettle Cyst, my goodness. Right. And they've managed to hold up Rebuke this whole time. Land is a great draw right now. Untapped land, I should specify. Oh, Grief. That can clear the Rebuke. They might Rebuke it, but then I can take their whole hand and set up a big Foundation Breaker plus EE for the future. I think I have to pitch Ascendancy because I need Rebirth to break foundations with. They're pitching Ascendancy. I think I just let them Rebuke this. Their hand is Thought Monitor, and then I can break foundations, killing the Nettle Cyst and the Urza Saga. Yeah, their hand is just Thought Monitor. Foundation Breaker, break the Nettle Cyst Foundation, and I'll rebirth the Foundation Breaker. And I'm going to take out Urza Saga. Okay, now we're getting scrappy. My next red source gets me Kroxa out of the graveyard. They're sitting on Thought Monitor over there. Mishra's Bauble still uncracked for the entire game. It's been cracked now. It's time to find some cards. Fury. Okay. In fetching that green source made this Foundation Breaker play, which I think was better than Kroxa would be. But I'm also hurting for red here. Okay, a Lightning Bolt. Shit. They're drawing their good cards. This isn't fair. They EI'd into a Tormod script. I hate my life. They are just busting it now, though. And they drew Shadow Spear. All natural. Red source or something else to do? Okay, found a red source. I lose Fury, but I get a creature and a card here. I am cashing in immediately. Thoughtseize. Yeah, let's go. My life total's already basically 0. Rebuke and Monitor. I'll take the Monitor. I can pay for Rebuke on Ragavan. Okay, my life total is 5. Maybe Death Shadow would have been fine in the deck. I can't dash the Rag unless I draw a land, and most lands would put me to 2. Oh, I forgot this thing has Unearth. Cool. Okay. The desk has haste. Look out for this speedy little desk. The fuck? They forgot to use it, and now it's just in exile? They just didn't... What? I don't even know. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you, everybody. Maybe they unearthed it, then realized that they were putting down their counterspell if they do. I don't know. Very strange. I was going to cast Ragavan the slow and steady way. Where is my clock gone? Have I really spent that much time putzing around? They're at 11 minutes and I'm at under 5. I don't feel like I've made that many slow decisions, but I guess the numbers don't lie. I don't know. All right, we won the match though. Undefeated with Riveteer's Ascendancy in Modern. Keep it rolling.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play for round 2, and I have this carrion feeder, a bunch of lands, and 2 rebirths. This doesn't seem like the way to go. This does seem like the way to go. I'm going to keep, and I think I bottom Pyromancer, and I don't think I'm going to grief right away. I can learn more about them first and decide if it's the right call. Because whether I play Voidwalker and build towards Ascendancy, or pitch Voidwalker and build towards Ascendancy, or pitch Ascendancy with Voidwalker around. Okay, we're playing against Merfolk. Boring. It's all good. I'm going to fetch a Blood Crypt, because I am pitching this Ascendancy to the grief immediately. Ooh, I do like a Fury. I'm casting Voidwalker, and then I'm griefing them. I'm doing it in that order in case I want to cast something. If they have like Zvalen, that's a card I would not mind having in play. Master of the Pearl Trident and Merfolk Trickster. I'll take the Trickster. If you're going to cast spells, you're doing it on your own turn, where I can kill them with Fury. 2 islands, Master and Mutavault are their hand, plus whatever they just drew. First catcher gets its pound of flesh. A second Voidwalker. Brace is on. I'm going all in here. 2 here, 2 here. I could become a Merfolk deck if I want. All these things are exiled under the Void. And I have 2 Voidwalkers. I could just become Voidfolk. So, hilariously, cashing in Voidwalker for a Merfolk and a Master is just less power than what I'm already doing. Attack with my creatures. We are in a nasty little race here, and my land's hurting me on the way in. Have put me behind at the start of it. You can attack for 5. Here I go to 10. Then I put them to 5. Then I go to 5. And they're dead. I am winning the race. But it doesn't take much to swing it. Red Shaper. Okay, they tap their Mutavault to do that, which is kind of terrifying, because that means they have other ways to spend their mana. He's just going to 0 cards in hand, curving out perfectly. I might lose this game now. I'm going to draw for turn and then do math. Okay, that doesn't help. 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 14. Yep. I am dead. And there is not a damn thing I can do about it. Okay. Yeah, the linear creature deck, when it draws exactly the correct number of spells and lands to cast them, and not a single extra piece. Okay, all good. Rigmaw's coming in. I like Engineered Explosives. Their whole deck costs 2. I think Thoughtseize is kind of fine. I hate that the grindy engine part of the deck that I created is just not appropriate for this matchup or the last one. Someday it'll find a place. I have 1 extra slot here. I could bring Cadaver Imp back in to rebuy Shriekmaws. I could bring in Fulminator Mage for Mutavault. I could bring in Grist to kill whatever, assuming I have a creature, which I'm not actually that good at having creatures. Cadaver Imp is back. Let's go. 4 Shriekmaw versus Mutavault. This is just like Lorwyn Standard over again. This is so many lands. I love the curve. Thoughtseize, Voidwalker. I'm going to keep. It's kind of awkward that we have the grindy Reanimator business in here, because a scam deck, I would obviously mulligan this and look for something better to start the game with. I was hoping to see a 1-lander with Aether Vial, but instead I see multiple potent sideboard cards and the best creature in their deck and Aether Vial. Damn. I probably have to take Zvalen here. Zvalen is the only thing that actually applies pressure in any way. Okay. That is a pretty solid hand against what I'm doing here. Okay. Malika Rebirth, not the worst card I've ever seen. If they wait on Dismember, I can get my Voidwalker back. They just crack off Dismember right now, then it's gone. Invested in the hearse. Yeah, now Rebirth doesn't work anyway. It's a good investment. I am going to dash Ragavan and just hope they didn't draw a 1-drop Merfolk. Oh, there's no reason to shock in anyway, because Malika Rebirth doesn't work with hearse in play. Never mind. Oh, you freaking maniac. My god. Okay. Let me tell you about life when the low to the ground aggro deck draws perfectly. And I'm getting dismembered. And Hearse is going to have some stuff under it now. I didn't bring in Foundation Breaker. I will if there's a game 3. At least some number of them. Shriekmaw, baby. And Shriekmaw gives me a little bit of hope for the future. I'm sure I'm just eating a dismember here. But I accept. There it is. I'm going to play this Stomping Ground tapped. I can hardcast Shriekmaw next turn, which just fills me with joy. The hand that they showed me when I Thoughtseize them just forced us into this long game. Hardcasting the monsters just became the plan pretty much immediately. Ragavan. There's a good chance there's a 2-drop in the hand now. But Ragavan's not getting better. Here he comes. Unlicensed Hearse, an artifact. If they file something in, animate, block, I can't take out the hearse and the creature with Shriekmaw. Maybe they just don't have it. Wink, wink. They've always have it. Yep. Aether Vial's been activated. Master of the Pearl Trident's in play, which can animate unlicensed hearse. Oh, they just blocked? That's interesting. Okay. All right. This is not the worst because Shriekmaw kills both these creatures. Would have preferred to hardcast it, but taking out their whole board is worth the squeeze here. They are hellbent. Kill Hexcatcher, and then Master is a 2/2 with 2 damage marked on it. I'll put my Overgrown Tomb into play and hope to keep drawing creatures. They are empty, and functionally so am I. Let's party. That's a good draw. The question is, do I save it to point at some Merfolk, or do I put my 3/3 Double Strike into play? And I think I put my 3/3 Double Strike into play. They're in top deck mode. If I give them time to draw into Merfolk, then my creature gets worse. They didn't exile their own graveyard with Unlicensed Hearse. It's fortunate. Oh, Grief. Hardcast Grief. Let's start taking peeks over there. This is the game plan now. Keep making it rain. Hexcatcher, they vialed that in instead of casting it. They probably just have a land left. All right, Aether Vial. Samesies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can't crew this anyway, because this is a 1/1 creature, and crew is 2. Okay, we have a good attack. Blammo. Opponent's at 7. And they still haven't targeted their own graveyard with Hearse. And they scooped it. Nice. Okay, game 3 coming. Unlicensed Hearse in the mix. I will entertain some Foundation Breakers. I really want to go off with Cadaver Imp and Shriekmaw. That's my dream. I'm cutting 2 Ascendancies. You can't stop me. I hate losing to Merfolk. I'm going to give myself the best chance. We're an Ascendancy anyway. Well, it pitches to Fury. I can also Thoughtseize Grief. This hand needs lands, but it's really good at removal and disruption. General disruption. Aether Vial. Ragavan. Okay. I can Grief pitching Voidwalker, see if the coast is clear for Ragavan or if I need to Thoughtseize. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I think connecting with Rag is my best plan to forward in this game. Dismember, Hexcatcher, Ira. Okay, so a flash creature and a removal spell are both in the mix here. Ira's tough to beat. I take the Dismember, and they trade Hexcatcher for Rag. Not the worst. Then I can save the Thoughtseize for Kira, which is a card I definitely can't beat. Here's the Cavern. Ooh. We can get real sweaty here. Brief pitching Thoughtseize. Let's go. If they flash in, I can Fury. If they don't flash in, I'll just take it and start connecting. Let's have a look. I'm just hemorrhaging 2 for once here, but hopefully start to recur them shortly. There's the Hex Catcher. Take Kira. Just a Cavern of Souls left in the hand. And you better believe it. Coming in. There's only one plan here. Engineered Explosives. As embarrassing as possible, because my permanent that I've hinged my entire game plan on also costs 1, alongside their Aether Vial. Get Explosives for 2 right now. That is generally the magic number. Okay, Explosives for 2 is in play. Investing in the future. Just brick. Do not cast as Valen. Brick this draw. Draw some non-mutable land. There's Cavern. Kroxa. Okay. Gonna attack and hope that whatever's in their hand doesn't stop Ragavan. We're in there. Exiled another Cavern of Souls. I'm getting in here with Kroxa. Whatever that card is, get rid of it. An island. Nice. Okay. Scrappy and sweaty. As promised. Now they're just playing out their lands because they've seen Kroxa. Love it. Let me in. Flip to Dismember. Nothing to target here. But that's a treasure that gets to stay in play. I can now Explosives on 2 and push through a Lord in combat. They're drawn off the top. Kroxa is looming. Freakmaw. Hell yeah. It's getting good. Back you. Vials on 2 and all their flash creatures cost 2. Just going to explode whatever this is. Keep up the pressure. Exiled Otawara. Okay. Ragavan has not delivered on a spell yet. Oh, it hit Dismember. I take it back. 3 lands and a Dismember with no targets. Laid out the land. Let's go. Another swing coming in. And I get to play Kroxa this turn. I drew the land for it. And we know Rag's going to connect. First Catcher, don't care. We're just going to kill them with Kroxa here. Guess I should get Overgrown Tomb. And I'll put you to 4 with 2 gigantic creatures in play and a removal spell in hand. Let's go. Good luck. Have fun. They brought Vial up to 3 after many turns at 2. And we remain undefeated with Riveteer's Ascendancy. Keep going.
You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better.
On the draw in round 3, I don't actually hate this. I'm going to keep. It's more lands than I want, but the upside is high. Grief and Fury both get the full scam start. Kroxa is the type of engine you want alongside a fistful of lands like this. And Raggy Daddy is a live draw. Let's just put this Ragavan into play. See what's up. Ragavan versus Scalding Tarn, I don't love its potential to be in play on my next turn. A lot of red removal. Ooh, Ketria Triumph. Oh no, red and 6, that's even worse than Lightning Bolt, if that's what's about to happen. Just pass the turn. You don't need to cast your 2-drop Planeswalker right now. Just send it. Pass it right along. Okay, no Ren and 6. That's good news. I'm going to attack. I'm going to attack before I Thoughtseize. If they have any removal spell, they'll just cast in response anyway. And if Ragavan connects, I just want more information. Am I going to get Ice Fang Coattled? I'm fired. I could use Rebirth to save this, then Thoughtseize to continue pushing through. I actually like that a lot. I either forgot or never knew that you lose 2 life was a line on Malika Rebirth. And that makes the Death Shadow plan make a lot more sense. That was originally in the package here. And let's Thoughtseize. This is looking like Rhinos now. Ketria Triumph into Fire Ice. I think this is a Cascade deck. Force of Negation. Yep. Confirmed Cascade deck. Tough beats. And they let Rebirth resolve because they don't care about Ragavan versus their 8 power anymore. Yep. Here is the can of Rhinos. Rhinos come in a can if you're new here. It's a thing we do on this channel. Things that don't matter at all include that. Hit you with a Kroxa. I'm going to hide the green source. Just don't need to put it into play, so I won't. Cannot attack. Regardless agent attacking is kind of a bummer. I'm going to block. I just think they have more Rhinos. Become immense. My god. Alright, we were just dead. Are people doing that? Is that a thing? I've never seen that before. Messed up if true. I don't think I want to be necromancying this deck. They bring in the Shriek Maws, the Grist, Carrion Feeder once again, looking bad. This is what I'm doing. And getting Ascendancy online could actually be part of this game plan. It's certainly not part of this game plan. I think I'd keep this with a red source to get Ragavan going. I mean, I have my sideboard card and all this gas, but I'm going to mulligan as is. This is pretty close to the same hand, but it has the red source that I asked for. I'm going to keep. And I'll bottom one of the Furies. They can dead gone on 1 mana, or they could have their own Fury. Just thinking about whether I want a Thoughtseize or Ragavan this turn. I think it's Rag. I'll just put you to test on the draw here. Turn 1 Rag. Bring in it. They fetched and had the dead. Ugh. And here I am missing a land drop. I think this deck needs more lands. It's built like a Death Shadow deck or like a Scam deck when it is ultimately neither. I take the Shardless Agent. It's just trying to do fair things in a way that 19 lands may or may not facilitate without the help of cantrips. Like we got no Mishra's Bauble, no Serum Visions or Thought Scour or whatever it is the blue decks are doing these days. Come on. They drew their land right away. Can I have one? Can I have one? Can I have one? Nope. Suppose I am continuing to pass the turn. Here's your land. Did you draw Shardless Agent too? They can hang out over there on Endurance for a while. Ugh. Guess I need to grief with one of these griefs. At least. If they get to hardcast Subtlety, we're just done here. Okay, they had to pitch cast the Subtlety. I'll take 2 cards, please. Roll 2 for 2. I will put grief on the bottom of my deck. And if I grief you again, you're going to cast Endurance in response. How do I ever win this game? All right, I'm griefing you again. If you Endurance, I can think about casting Fury. I would feel totally fine about pitching Fury to kill this Endurance if I had a Dathi Voidwalker in play, which of course I do not. Because I don't have any lands to cast that card. I'm immense and a mountain. I'm going to start taking damage here. The things I could do are just clear the Endurance and go into a top deck war where I need to draw both lands and spells, and their deck is full of banger spells. Or I could try to get Kroxa going. Right, I'm going to pass. Malachor Rebirth is a great card. They played Breeding Pool. We are working with perfect information. Rebirth, Rebirth, Rebirth. Oh my god, I'm cheating. Okay. Let's stabilize this game. Glad I held out. Now I at least have something going on. And they have many ways to deal with this. Many bounce spells, making Rhinos. But they don't get long to top deck into it. If they just like miss a couple times, I'm in there. There's the mountain. Knew about that one. Another Rebirth. Sign me up. Let's go. I hope that their hand is either nothing, a Cascade spell, or Endurance. If they Brazen Borrow me here, that one's actually devastating. Here it comes. And their life total is reduced by 6. Okay, because they just want to race. All right, that's a good reason to do that. I go to 2, and then I lose because I can't even cast the Rebirth in my hand. Yeah, that was a good read. If they had cast the Rhino spell and blocked, they lose 1 to the double strike, and then I Rebirth and kill the other, and I'm ahead. So that was a great tempo play. I don't believe there's anything left for me to do here. I can't cast Rebirth. I don't think I have a draw in my deck that for 1 mana can stabilize this. Certainly not that one. Okay. We got beat. Someone finally made us bleed on this unbeatable deck.
We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league.
I'm on the play in round 4 with a promising start. I'm going to keep. It has 2 lands in it. I'm just going to land pass. There's nothing else to do, really. Okay. Yavimaya is interesting. That lets me sneak Ascendancy in on just Rakdos lands. I will fetch Blood Crypt in honor of that. Another Blood Crypt, okay. And I'm going to get started with a Voidwalker. I'm not going to Fury the Bird right away. Oh my god. I could do value things next turn. Prepare yourselves, opponent. Everybody. I almost said opponents. You're not my opponents. But my opponent is my opponent, and they should prepare themselves. Yeah, we got the Voidwalker for that. Oh my god. Everybody, we're about to blow the house down. Okay, get ready. Land. Riveteer's Ascendancy. And then Fury. Pass by exiling Kroxa. With the Evoke underneath the deal 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All these creatures. And they're currently in the void. Activate Voidwalker so I can cast Strangleroot Geist. Oh wait, is that even the one I want? I think I want Ignoble Hierarch actually. Because if Strangleroot Geist dies, they get it back. Yeah, I'm not interested in that. Give me Ignoble Hierarch. And then Fury dies. Triggering Riveteer's Ascendancy. Returning Voidwalker. And then I get this Ignoble Hierarch. We did it, Milan. The whole league is a success. Because that occurred just now. We did the thing at least once. Might still lose this game, but we are on like Donkey Kong here. And I'm going to start beating down with this Shadow in the Void. Backed by Exalted. Might be able to just borrow a Yawgmoth too. Oh yeah. Grist and Yawgmoth. All these cards are just so good. Yawgmoth says sacrifice right on it. Okay. A Grist though, that's annoying. Grist can kill Yawgmoth. Yawgmoth tries to Grist. Who do I want to have what here? I believe I want the Grist. And I am just going to collect on Grist right now. Cast it. Plus it. Maybe I was supposed to minus Grist. No, I'm all in. Now, saving Grist to kill Yawgmoth, that was the plan. I just identified that Yawgmoth versus Grist, the Yawgmoth is not the winner in that exchange. If they cast Yawg, I'll just kill it. If they don't cast Yawg, I'll kill Wall of Roots. They just drew a card with their land. That seems medium. Turns off Yawg for the turn. And now I will sacrifice my fetch land to get it out of the way. Thanks for the Yavimaya. Turns out I didn't really need it. I'll take it anyway. Are we? Oh, Boseiju. A lot of respect for this fucking card. You love to see it. I will. I'll take a basic swamp. Thank you. Grief. I'll take that Yawgmoth too. Yoink. That into the void, please. Plus Grist. And I'm just going to attack. I'm going to push for damage. I don't think I need Yawgmoth right now, if I need it at all. Too easy. When we go off with Ascendancy, life is grand. Necromentia can name Yawgmoth and get that out of here. Grists of my own seem like a good way to engage. Curse does stop the combo aspect. Ragavan's pretty bad in this matchup, if my memory serves. Ragavan out. If there's ever a matchup where Cadaver Imp and Scarecrow go off, it's this one. Shriekmaw is fine. Some of their creatures are black and some aren't. Currently, Grist and all 3 Necromenches are in the deck. I might not need all 3 Necros. If I can get a Hearse in here. Carrion Feeder once again looking a little rough. Sorry, buddy. Okay, I'm going in like this. 2 Hearses, 2 Necromenches. There is a land here in Rebirth, but I don't think this is where I want to be. It's a shame because these spells are crazy good. We'll keep this one and send away one of these Kroxas. Don't think that's a card I need 2 of. Ignoble Hierarch. Yes. Thoughtseize. Okay. What are you worried about? Look, the Necro. Okay. Feels good. Doesn't feel good to lose my potent sideboard card, but I wasn't even sure if I wanted it, and they took it with Thoughtseize. Means they do care about it. Grief. I could scam out Grief, but I lose Kroxa to do it. I'm gonna Old Pyromancer next turn anyway, so yeah, let's go nuts. Eldritch Evolution, Court of Calling, Grist, Blood Artist. I'm gonna take Grist and Eldritch Evolution here. Blood Artist is kind of whatever, like annoying, but mostly fine. Pretty far away from Cord. I mean, they could Cord for 1 now. They drew a land. You get Blood Artist and then Cord for 2 next turn, and that's everything that's going on. And that attack tells me they're not going to Cord this turn. There's the Artist. Okay, I already have green. Nothing in my deck costs double green. I can save a life by just fetching a basic swamp here. Already have double red. Turn this Overgrown Tomb into 2 fresh cards. Fury, hell yeah. Attack with Grief, the race is on. We can Cord for 2 now. Hope they don't find a land, because Cord for 3 is actually good. It gets Grist, and which can sack Wolf and kill a thing and ping me for basically free. Cord for 2 is the move. Kangaroo Geist, yep. Beatdown continues until morale improves. Okay, this is Fury next turn on the hard cast. We're just going to slug it out, and this Blood Artist is pretty potent. If they cast Yawgmoth or something that puts Yawgmoth into play right now, they win. Outland Liberator. That's just some card. And now they're Hellbent. Cool. No attacks. You love to see it. Tap Blood Crypt. And I'm going to get the last basic. Fury has to kill Blood Artist. I guess I go for Ignoble Hierarch and Outland Liberator here. That just kills the most things. I want to do this pre-combat. Get the Blood Artist out of the mix first. This is 3 drains, which all of it matters in this race. If I attack with Grief, they can double block, and both their creatures are larger, and I get basically nothing out of it. Yeah, I guess I'm passing. Oh, no. Just drawing a card. Cool. Found Dryad Arbor. And Ignoble Hierarch. Okay. Still don't have attacks here. Carrion Feeder. Embarrassing. Carrion Feeder can sacrifice Seasoned Pyromancer, then make 2 1/1s. What happens if I attack? Grief, they need to double block. Fury can light it up. If I shock and Blood Crypt, I go to 4. I can make 2 blockers. I'm just going to bash here. Getting a little tricky here with this Exile from the Graveyard clause. That's an illegal block. You need to put something else there too. That is now a legal block. I guess I should have played Carrion Feeder pre-combat. Or no, because I actually do want to kill their creatures. That doesn't matter. And do I actually want to kill Geist? I think I do. And this trick is face up. I'm not going to get anyone with it, but here it is. If I didn't have to shock my land in, maybe they'd miss it, but I can very clearly make 2 1/1s. Okay, they're attacking anyway. Here are the 1/1s. Block Strangleroot Geist. Block Dryad Arbor. I'll eat the one that's going to die anyway. I do want to trade with Dryad Arbor. And this is a lethal attack if they can't put anything in front of it. Oh, if they put anything in front of it, though, I'm in trouble. Okay, gotta draw Shriek Maw. Okay, Carrion Feeder can't block. That was a fun trick, but it didn't get there. I will make my attack and then lose. And they're not at 4 life. GG. Yeah, that was like one too many lands. That was fun though. Good run of it. Do I want more Shriekmaws? That was a cool trick with Carrion Feeder, but I think I'd rather have Shriekmaw in the deck. And right back in we go. I have Ascendancy, but only 1 land. Got a mulligan that. Ugh. I'm going to keep, but I'm not excited about it. I'm basically trying to draw a red card before I'm too far behind for it to matter. You just want land go. I'm going to get a Blood Crypt. Grief, okay. Now I have something to do on 4 mana if they fart around too long. Stranglerootgeist, yep. The Stranglerootgeist beatdown plan in Yawgmoth is the most annoying and delightful thing, because it's your combo piece, but also just genuinely threatening as a creature. Fetch Overgrown Tomb. Thoughtseize, okay. Let's have a peek. 2 Griss and another Stranglerootgeist. Wow, that's bad. And I'll take one of the Griss and play this Bloodstained Mire tapped, or Blood Crypt, whatever this is. And now the red card is really good if I can kill these Geists forever. You can stack your triggers so the Geists die and undie before Fury dies the first time, and then when Fury comes back, you finish off the squad. Wall of Roots can still cast Geist with a minus. Alright, I'm in the market for a red card now. Unlicensed Hearse. Not helpful, or what I want. I take this Grist. They've got Ignoble Hierarch and Urborg in their hand. I briefly considered playing Malika Rebirth as a tapped land and just giving up on it as a Malika Rebirth, but I don't think that's where I want to be. Because then Grist is in play because I can't grief this turn. Oh, they're having a bunch of mana. Okay, we're just getting yogged. Yeah, they can bounce these back and forth until they're happy with how many cards they've drawn. This attack's totally free. Yeah, we're dead. Yeah, I just kept the hand on a little bit of spec and never got there. A red card last turn or the turn before would have had a clear board going into this turn, but we didn't get there. On to the final round. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. On the draw in the final round, positive record on the line. I'm going to keep this perfectly reasonable looking Rakdos hand. Sanders Lounge, okay. Probably some 5-color control deck. Let's find out together. I guess it could be creativity as well. Oh, yuck. It is an outburst strategy. I have 2 Furies. I'm actually going to take the Fire Ice. I can play Voidwalker here. That way when they make a can of Rhinos, I get the can of Rhinos at the other end. Oh, Jesus, they drew a Fury. Fury pitching Fire Ice. Alright, now I'm going to have to Fury all their Rhinos. Damn. Okay, the 2 cards I didn't know in their hand were Fury, red card. All good. Get to knock one of the Violent Outbursts out of their hand right now, and then try to bridge into Fury next turn. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the Fury and these 2 fetch lands together gets me Kroxa, so I can actually clear one of the Rhinos. I take 8 on this attack. Okay, they are an Omnath Elemental other. Yeah, this is like Yorion Rhinos without the Yorion. Yeah, I can clear one of the Rhinos with Fury this turn and then escape Kroxa and put it in front of the other Rhino. Oh, come on, you drew Shardless Agent. Okay. Just Risen Reef, don't worry. I'm gonna get a Stomping Ground. That gets me red and lets me fetch Basic Swamp and save some life points here. Thoughtseize, no room for that this turn. Fury, cast Kroxa, or pitch Kroxa. One of these Rhinos. The Basic Swamp, escape Kroxa. Remove whatever that nice card is you just picked up. You know it's not a land or else it would be in play. Leyline Binding, get it out. Okay, now we gotta hope our top decks hold up better than theirs. A land gets me Fury, which lets me start bashing. Voidwalker, okay. I'm gonna play Voidwalker. Thought seizing it feels a little dangerous. I don't think they would have sandbagged a land. Could be Omnath in there. Give it to me. Going to 4 is risky. Oh yeah, give me that Solitude. Solitude is in the void. I cannot attack and I'm dead to any removal spell. But Solitude is in the void. Land, you love to see it. Now I can attack because I can Solitude them. Attack. Moosh. I probably should not mess around with the possibility of them drawing a counterspell. So I don't know what counterspell they could even have. Solitude's in the void. I'm dead if I don't do this, so better just do it. Solitude, exile the Rhino. If I start gaining life off Solitude, we're in business. Just need them not to Omnath me. Cadaver Imp. Busted. Leyline Binding. Okay, pretty good card to have. Guess we're getting scrappy after all. Modern staple Cadaver Imp has been cast in this league. Count it. Rebuy my Voidwalker. Man, this is too easy. Too easy. Creature has flying and also trades with Risen Reef. Why don't we see more Cadaver Imps in the format? Weird. Uh-oh. Kraken of Fetchland. What 4-mana spell does this deck play? Wait, what just happened? White, green, blue, red. Okay, they must just not actually have Omnath. Okay, deal. The way they fetched, tapped mana, then conceded, I was like, did they choose wrong and they can't Omnath with that? But no, that's not the case. I don't know. Engineered Explosives and Shriek Maw look good to me. That might try to Blood Moon me. No, this version would not Blood Moon me with the Prismatic or Leyline Bindings. For sure not. Carrion Feeder doesn't block. Yeah, maybe this card was not great for the deck. Scarecrow blocks. Not great though. Scarecrow does sack itself for Ascendancy, which Cadaver Imp doesn't. Alright, Cadaver Imp, you're fired. And this can't be a Red and 6 deck because they're the Cascade version. Yeah, so I'll keep my Ragavans in. Might want Grist here. If there's a game 3, I'll think about it. Okay. Ragavan and or potential Scam Start. Ooh, big scammies. Yeah, I'm gonna shock in Blood Crypt and just get scamming. Sucks to pitch Ascendancy in the what I'm hoping is the final game of the match or game of the league. But you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm gonna take Fire Ice. I'm gonna rebirth my Grief. There's no white cards to pitch to this Solitude. Grief comes back. I kind of want to take the Shardless Agent because that's the most powerful thing going on. Yeah, Solitude's a long way away from being good. Yeah, I'm taking the Shardless Agent. They need to draw the land and it's 2 turns out to get Risen Reef started. You can dash Ragavan in between. I'm going to fetch a basic. I like dashing Rag here. No guarantee it'll even connect next turn. If Risen Reef is in front of it. Took a Violent Outburst. Happy to see that go. Xander's Lounge and Indotha Triome. That is all the colors together. And these Triomes look crazy. What a ridiculous looking mana base they've assembled here. With the alternate no frame treatments. Okay, they've not drawn a land. A white card. We know they have Solitude. I think I want to lead on Voidwalker. That way anything they do in combat becomes mine. And I'm definitely still dashing Rag. Gotta keep the pressure up. They could have Leyline Binding here, or they could just have Stone Nothing. Like nothing is the answer. Look a Shardless Agent. Dashing Rag is extra sweet here because I get to attack with it, and then it's also a red card on my turn. Okay, they did have Fire, but they were more worried about Voidwalker than Ragavan. It was a nice distraction. And the treasure lets me hardcast Fury next turn. Okay, they must have Rhinos. There's one mystery card in the hand. It has to be Violent Outbursts if they would just pass like this. Or does this mana not cast? No, it does. Green, blue. Yeah. They must have Rhinos. I'll attack with Grief and start working through this, I guess. Yep. They get to block, and then I get to play Fury, Hardcast, take out a Rhino. I guess if I dash Ragavan, they can't kill both, but then I can't Fury either. Fury, take out a Rhino. Now they're going to start reefing. Now this is where it could slide away. Just immediately pitch Solitude. Pitching Omnath. Getting paid by Risen Reef on the way out. Okay. Here comes the Rhino. Ragavan, cool. I was going to dash the first one anyway. Now I have a replacement. If they didn't block, I wouldn't either. Rushing Footballs. Cannot do anything with that with a Ragavan. Now they're double reefing, and we are going to slide away quickly if I can't find, like, Kroxa immediately. Ascendancy. LOL. What a disaster. Okay. If they block, they don't have lethal in play anymore. If they don't block, I get some options. Okay, they no longer have lethal in play. Here is my Ascendancy. And I'm not going to dash this Ragavan. I don't want them to know I have it. Or I'm not going to play the Ragavan. I don't want them to know I have it. They're going to attack me to 1. And then I can dash and see what's in their hand. They pitched an Omnath a little while ago. Okay, they just have another one. Don't think I can win this game anymore, but I will take a draw step. Oh, they have 2 fetch lands sitting in play at the start of the turn. If they just play a land, I lose. Or play an elemental that triggers a land to come into play off Risen Reef. It all works. I'm going to look at their revealed cards. Leyline Binding, Fury, Fire Ice, a bunch of Solitudes. Yeah, they have a lot of removal. No denying it. Give me some action on this Ascendancy. I'm going out on my own terms. I'm going to look at your hand, though. Fury, I'll take it. Yeah, this is a hostile matchup for my little bitty creatures. Maybe Grist is cool. And I really love Cadaver Imp. Wish there was room. Alas, there is not. Whoops, I submitted 61. Let's be unpunished. Okay, got a 2 land hand with a Ragavan anyway. I'm in. I think I want to lead on Thoughtseize and dash Ragavan on turn 2 rather than cast Rag and see how it shakes out. They have Furies and Solitudes in their deck. Let's have a peek with Thoughtseize. Solitude, Shardless Agent. I was right about the Solitude. Can't stop all these Rhinos, but I have Engineered Explosives, so I'm not going to try. You can also Rebirth a Shriekmaw that kills a whole can of Rhinos. Dash and Rag. In we go. Quick an Omnath. Cool. Not that that's mega helpful. It's just out of the way. I like that. Kroxa. Cool. Let's dash Ragavan. Get started here. This is my last free swing before the Rhinos are in the way. Seems that they found a Fire Ice. They're icing it instead of firing it. Weird. Oh, they don't have red mana. That makes sense. Sure. That works. Need to play. I'm gonna get Overgrown Tomb here. Is that the right answer? Maybe Stomping Ground's better. Just make sure I have double red. There's more black than red in the deck. And I'm gonna get in there with Kroxa. Place pressure from multiple angles. Like a breeding pool. I have seen that. Alright, now they got Flash Rhinos and Sorcery Rhinos. Flash Rhinos it is. Ooh, grief. How hard do I want to grind this game? I could Grief, Rebirth, explode the Rhinos that are in play, take the cards that are in the hand. I lose Shriekmaw and everything. This actually sounds great. Yeah, having Engineered Explosives just slot in on curve here is really nice. Oh my god. Alright. Or you just have 3 Violent Outbursts. That's still not the worst. Pretty bad though. What a fucking hand. Take another Outburst. And I'll play the Engineered Explosives. Yeah, 3 of a kind lines up pretty well. Now the decision is if I want to go to 2 to get a swing in with Ragavan. They're holding Misty Rainforest and Shardless Agent. I don't think I can just go to 2, but definitely not winning a game where I don't. All right. I'm dead to Fire Ice, but at least we're still playing this game. Like, if I just blow the Rhinos and then they make 10 power second main, Ragavan Grief is not beating that. Jesus. All right. But they just drew Omnath, so fuck me anyway. All right, I need a Shriek Maw. Oh, the Ascendancy. Just what I was looking for. Basic Swamp would have been good there too. Getting Kroxa active. I think the party's over though. Yeah, this one slid out of reach. Just Omnath off the top. Why the hell not? Okay, this deck, it did the thing a couple times. The thing was pretty cool when it occurred. The problem is that, as we know, I mean, this is not a profound observation that Riveteer's Ascendancy is not a great modern card. Spending 3 mana in modern gets you things like the Fairy Time Raveler, or Risen Reef, or 10 power with Cascade Rhinos, or 9 damage out of a burn deck, or Blood Moon, or Intron. 3 lands gets you Karn. There's just like so many things you could do with 3 lands in modern that are better than set up whatever this is. And really, even I mean, this effect's powerful and cool enough to build around. The issue is that of timing, where if you're doing scam stuff, or if you need to stay alive with the Grief and the Fury, it's going to happen before turn 3. And if you draw the Ascendancy later, then you've already spent your evoke creature. And if you once you have 3 mana, you're just 1 away from casting Grief. Yeah, I think there is probably a version of this deck that is not scam based. You play planning for a longer game, and then you have sack outlets. Carrion Feeder didn't really come together at all during this league, but that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. There are a number of unbound sack outlets legal in modern. None of them cost 1 mana the way Carrion Feeder does, which was really what I was looking for. But Goblin Bombardment is legal in the format. Altar of Dementia, Phyrexian's Altar, and Ashnod's Altar are not legal in modern. They're too old. But I think if you cut the Rebirth stuff, play more to the mid-range, put some actual removal in the deck so you're not relying on Fury and Shriek Maw, and play some sort of Jund-esque value engine, that might go better. Because basically this league, it ended up panning out that we're either just a Rakdos scam with bad mana, or Jund with bad threats. And when it did come together, it was really cool. We did do the thing. I did regrow something with Cadaver Imp. We never drew Scarecrow. Bummer. But you're asking a lot to come together in a format as fast and disruptive as modern. And I think this is just a recipe for disappointment, to try to go fast and just hope it all comes together in time. Play for a longer game. Give yourself time for it to come together. I also don't think you want 4 Ascendancy. Just play 3 of them. Maximum 3, maybe even 2, just as an engine you can find in the mid or late game sometimes, but you never really want 2 of them. We had games where we drew 2 or 3 and just died. You can't do that in modern. Seasoned Pyromancer, probably ticking that up to 4. That's a really good way to supercharge the graveyard. I love 4 Kroxa in this deck. Obviously 4 Grief, 4 Fury is not going to change. Shriek Maw is pretty great. I like a lot of how this deck is constructed. I think this scam angle is just pulling too hard away from the Ascendancy angle. And that is my final thought on that. Milan, thank you for sending in this crazy brew. I love all the decks you've sent in. They've all been crazy and exciting to try and play, and then fun puzzles to rebuild at the end. I appreciate this kind of stuff. Everybody else, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the links in the video description that support the channel, and I'll see you next time.